yet.
Not yet. Yeah, once we get the endorsements going on, we'll be
Sure.
playing like crazy.
Why have you called Sony yet? By the way.
They're supposed to get back to me by tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Well, I'm gonna check up on that.
All right, you gonna call Microsoft up?
I guess.
All right.
Bill Gates, he just talks. Yeah. Anyway, that was kind of lame of me. Okay, so here's this tidbit of information I wanted to bring up. 90s survey done by CNN.
Here we go.
Or at least it's being not done by CNN, rather reported by CNN.
Yeah.
Finds that 97% of American youth play video games. 97%, girls included, between the age of 12 to 17, of the people surveyed say they played video games.
On what kind of a basis?
This ranged from, let me see. Hang on. I'm going to tell you in exactly. Here, talk for a minute while I find this information.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you kind of bring this up. For my senior project in college, I guess you could say my senior thesis for the bachelor degree in politics was basically the ratings boards of the ESRB, the FCC, or I should say, television, and the MPAA, and basically who runs a tighter ship, who runs a more effective way, the government or a private industry. So there was a lot of crazy statistics about like what the average age for a gamer, someone that plays video games a lot, and that ended up being I think 33. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at
these aren't little kids, yeah. And
you go ahead.
I was gonna make. Well, I found the information. They said over half of them claim. Oh my god, I just lost the information. All right. But yeah, continue talking.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say.
Okay, wait, I got it back. Okay.
All right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, continue talking.
All right. Well, what I was gonna say is that you have a lot of people who grew up playing Nintendo back in the 80s, who are obviously older than I am. When Nintendo originally came out in 1985, all right? I was born in 85, so I kind of hit the train probably around 1990, and that's when...
yeah, me too.
Other developing game consoles were starting to come out, like 92 was... the Super NES. I think Sega was probably around the same period.
Okay, found it. Half of the people that was in the survey reported that they had played video games within the previous day.
Oh wow!
So these are active, and just going on your point about the fear and all that stuff. I mean, the point this article goes on to make is that a lot of the time, and they say, I guess apparently more with girls. These are, or maybe not with girls. Well, anyway, majority of the time, these are social gaming kinds of experiences where it's you and your friends are coming over when you're 14 and playing Guitar Hero in your basement, right? In your parents' basement. You're playing video games, you're playing Halo with your friends around, and stuff like that. And I think this makes an interesting situation because you listen to people who are saying video games are the downfall of American society, and when I was your age, we didn't have video games. I was like, well, what did you do? What did people in the 70s do when they were 14 years old? I'll tell you what they did. You've seen the 70s show. They go and they sit in their parents' basement and watch TV with their friends, and they sat and watched TV and smoked pot with their friends, right? Right. So what's changed? Okay, so back then, to waste time, kids would sit around and watch TV in their parents' basement. Now what are they doing? They're sitting around watching TV in their parents' basement, but the difference is instead of watching TV, they're playing video games on the TV. So it's basically the same. And what this goes on to show is, and they're going to say, is that the amount of video games these people are playing doesn't really have any effect on their engagement in the community as a large, their ability to socialize, all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think this just goes to show it's sort of we replaced one sort of childhood entertainment with another one. It's like, don't give me this line about how, we did productive things. And it's like, no, you didn't. You sat around and you watched TV in your parents' basement. And
tried to do as little as possible. Just
I know, and that's the job of the teenager. and you know what? It's they're doing the exact same thing today. The kids are doing the exact same thing today. in the sense that, it's really just you're still being a zombie staring at the TV like people were in the 70s, but you're playing a video game instead of...
You have just a little bit more cognitive activity going on.
In the video game or the TV?
Well, in the video game.
Yeah. You're quiet again, Dave.
What the hell?
Okay, there you go.
How's this go?
That's great.
All right. I think the second hour we're going to change something, all right? So.
Okay, that's all right. We're only 15 minutes in.
yeah, so. All righty. Well, I want to also make the point was, along with this, video games have become the scapegoat of modern times. A lot of violence that happens. A lot of people automatically think Columbine with the Doom series. And what people tend to forget is that, like any society, I mean, back in the 50s, it was Elvis that was evil. You keep going on, it was music, and then it was certain violent movies. So, Jesus,
There you go.
So, like I said, it's just modern day it's just the modern day scapegoat.
Yeah, no, and in the 80s it was heavy metal, with the PMRC and everything. And these days it is the video game, but it'll probably weather this. And well, maybe not. In Germany, they pretty much banned all violent video games.
Oh yeah, Germany has a huge. I don't know. They love breaking freedom of speech over there, if you ask me. But it is pretty amazing. You can't really play any World War II game. You can't. Any really violent game is kind of banned over there.
Gears of War is banned.
Yeah.
But I've been to Germany before, actually, and I like Germany a lot. But anywhere you walk, boobs everywhere. All the boobs you could ever imagine.
So it's kind of like
now it's open.
It's the opposite of here then. So they're pretty cool with sex and stuff like that, but they're really against violence, which is I guess that's fine.
And then there's the Dutch, who sort of have the best of both worlds. It's as much violence and nudity as you can handle. No, actually, I don't know that. I don't know if it's they allow violence, but they're even more for the nudity in Amsterdam than they are in Berlin.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's very interesting to me, and I wanted to make the point. Someone kept bringing up the point of not only video game violence, just people playing video games in general, and how kind of lame that was, and that kind of deal. And what I have to remind them is that a lot of the programmers of today grew up playing cops and robbers, those kinds of games. And what they did was, well, let's make this let's kick this up a little step and let's see if we can make a video version of this, an interactive game where you're actually a cowboy, you're actually an Indian, or you're an actual, cop or robber, and you go from there. You know what I mean? So I think the whole notion of cops and robbers, that kind of game, they just kind of transitioned it to the TV. So
yeah. And, I mean, I guess there is something to be said that when you're playing cops and robbers outside, you're getting more exercise than you would as. But I think a lot of this ultimately falls down to the parents as far as regulating, in the sense of, okay, you guys have been playing games for an hour, get off your ass and go outside, you know?
Yeah, I know my parents did that with me, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, me too, and, stop hogging my TV.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the issue comes into play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
What is a G4? Does G4 ever have those kind of I know I'm just bringing this up because I know you watch G4. Does G4? They used to have these kind of forums, like seminars they would kind of put on about controversial tech topics. At least back when it was Tech TV.
They did it.
I want to know. Yeah, I didn't want to know if they still do that in G4.
Oh no, they play a lot of cops. They play a lot of, I don't know. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool if they did, but
good that good stuff that expands your mind.
Yeah.
I hate G4.
I hate Adam Sessler of G4, so I guess
I don't mind Adam Sessler so much.
He's kind of cocky. I don't know. Maybe that's just supposed to be his persona, but
yeah, I don't know. He's probably just happy he kept his job.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. So, and they hired a bunch of.
He's actually been there for ever. Like Adam Sessler, I think he was one of the original guys at Tech TV.
Mm-hmm. What did he do back in Tech TV?
Video games. He was always video games. He was always the video game guy back on Tech TV, and he was and I mean first they were originally TV called the original station was called ZTV or something like that.
Yeah.
What was it called? ZDTV, and then he was there, and then they got transitioned over into Tech TV, and he survived that, and they got transitioned over into G4, and he survived that.
Yeah.
So he's basically been with that station for like